Today is the 1 year anniversary. It's not true. A few days ago was the 1 year anniversary of Topic Arlo. I had family over. I was not available to work. I'm sorry. It was a really good trip though. If that helps. Just had a bunch of family. I made so many omelets. I made 30 omelets in 5 days. And you know what? That's given me the dopamine to get through the next couple months. I was just cooking for hours and hours and hours every day. It was amazing. I always want to do that, and I rarely get opportunities to just cook for a whole bunch of people. It was so good. Anyway, what were we talking about? It has been approximately 1 year since I started this channel, Topic Arlo. I will begin with the obligatory, I can't believe it's been that long. Feels like yesterday. I really do mean it though. I mean, like, it's funny because, like, in terms of, like, I don't know, personal growth, a lot has happened in the last year. I feel like that should make it feel long, and yet it really does feel like just so recently. It was such a new development in my life and my career. You know, I guess I'd been doing the main channel for like a decade. So this was like the weird little new experiment. And so, yeah, just the fact that a whole entire year has gone by is crazy. And I know recently I did my 100K subscriber video. But now, as promised, I'd like to go a little bit more into the history of Topic Arlo, why it came about. And, I mean, there's a lot of, like, boring aspects to the story. YouTube itself is a really, like, interesting and fun, but also very frustrating job when it's your job. Just trying to figure out like what people want, what the algorithm wants, and these trends kind of change over time. And for the longest time, I really like I've had this idea to do like some side channel with side content for. I mean, I've had sort of various things like it here and there. You know, there's Arlocast and whatnot. But like, there's always been this idea of like, man, I wish I had an outlet for just talking about the smaller stories where I'm not exactly sure how many people are going to watch it. Because that's the thing about YouTube. They want you to have consistent views. Because if you have, you know, like an average views per video, and then you release a video or multiple videos that perform below that, then the next time you put out a video, they're literally just gonna punish you by showing that video to fewer people. Like, the worse a video performs, the less likely your next video is to perform well. And you can imagine the psychological toll this can have on a person. You fail, and so then you are punished by failing even harder, and it's even harder to work your way back. So it's this big thing where basically, like, you don't want to put out a video if you think it might not do very well. And so with YouTube, you got to take a lot of risks. And I was just like, I want a channel where I don't have to consider it a risk. I want to be able to just talk about it. If I feel like talking about it, I want to just throw it up there and not even care. And if I'm not sure that a lot of people are going to watch it, then I want to not, I mean, you know, I don't want to put in a bunch of work. I don't want to work on a video for like a week and spend a bunch of money on it just for like 30,000 people to watch it or whatever. So like, I just wanted something casual, something easy. And especially as time has gone on, people have really started to use YouTube more as a podcast, you know, more as like something to listen to have on in the background. So basically, like, the idea of the channel existed for a really long time. It's just that, like, I was really, really afraid of kind of splitting up my viewer base, especially as my subscriber number grows on the main channel. You know, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, even though, like, that number really, as I explained before, it really doesn't mean that much. If the vast majority of your subscribers are either gonna, like, you know, see that you uploaded and not care, or just not see the notification, or not be signed up for notifications, or the big one, YouTube just doesn't show anything to them, then it really doesn't matter that much. But there was still this idea that I don't know, I thought that if I did anything else on another channel, it would not be worth it. It would just be too hard to reach people all over again, afresh, you know? If most of my subscribers are on the main channel, like, how many can I actually expect to come over to something new, to rediscover me all over again. And not to not to bring up the personal growth thing too much, but I do think a lot of this was just anxiety, you know? Like, one of the biggest things I've learned over the last few years is just kind of like how anxious I am / used to be, and how much that has affected my decision making, and how that has made me really averse to risk taking. Sometimes not even risk taking, just really just doing anything. I'd find any reason to just tell myself like it wouldn't work, and so like I shouldn't even try. And you know, that's a much much bigger thing that has affected much more of my life than just YouTube. But yeah, there was always this thing that just told me like, nah, it's not worth doing. It's not gonna work. Not enough people are gonna watch. So I just never really tried. And you know, and I'll give myself at least a little bit of grace. Like I said, YouTube messes with your brain psychologically. It makes you scared to do the wrong thing. And I think also it's the fact that like even on the main channel, I still could do cheesier stuff, like cheesy, that's what Kane and I call it, like cheesy videos, you know, just like, it's not like a super tightly scripted, edited thing. It's just me kind of giving my opinion. And those were working pretty well on the main channel. So I was like, well, I mean, I kind of already have that. Even if I can't talk about anything, you know, I could still do that for the bigger topics when I want to get an opinion out there and not make it this big polished video. I just want to talk about it. And then of course, for a while we had news roundups. So that was kind of an outlet for those kinds of smaller stories. So I really just didn't. For a really long time. But I think, I mean, it was probably multiple things that got me to finally try it out. One, working on that anxiety, working on that little voice in my head that just tells me to not do anything and not try and not take risks and just shoots down all these ideas. I've been working on that, and it's been pretty darn successful, I will say. And again, it has affected much more of my life than just this. So that's definitely part of it. But then, as I was saying, the YouTube landscape just kind of changes. Trends kind of come and go. And I kind of feel like YouTube itself as a platform is still relatively young. This whole idea of just like watching a bunch of people talking about video games is still sort of new. And I kind of feel like the platform, at least for video game stuff, at least for like this, what I'm doing, this kind of like commentary, I guess, it almost kind of feels like it's kind of growing up with us. And I think that's why there's been this really big shift toward more casual but long form content. More and more people are turning on YouTube as background stuff to just kind of listen to, you know, especially after like pandemic and whatnot, you know, all the social isolation, all that. People just want to just hear a content creator that they like just talking about something. It's just kind of nice. And it doesn't even need to be a super cool scripted polished video with a bunch of edits where you have to like watch it like TV, you know? More and more every year, it feels like people are moving away from that kind of content, and at least a lot of my audience, and just kind of using the more long form casual stuff. And just in like the last year, it's funny, I've got multiple friends who have been doing the same thing. For whatever reason, just the YouTube DNA, it has morphed, it has evolved to the point where now, even if it wasn't as good of an idea before, now second channel is the way to go. It's what everyone's doing. For some reason, second channel is the way to go. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into the kind of the, I don't know if you call it conspiracy theory or whatever, but sometimes it feels like the older a channel is, the more likely YouTube is to just be like, yeah, you're kind of old. We want fresh blood. So I don't know, is it like my channel's 10 years old? Is it kind of marked by YouTube as like not as important? I don't know. Probably not true. You know, some content still does well enough. That's not to say that everything ever does really poorly. However, on that note, I will also say, though, that views have just been kind of not across the board bad, but really irregular. And it's been hard for me to tell how much of that is just like Switch hype dying down, you know, as the generation drags on. Or maybe a lot of my fans have just kind of moved on and they're not as interested anymore. Maybe I've kind of saturated the viewer base of like who had the potential to become fans of me. Maybe I've kind of reached the edges of that, but whatever it is, probably a bunch of different things. The main channel has just really not been performing that great, and we kind of regularly now are used to putting a lot of effort into a video that I like really kind of care about on a topic that I really care about, and it just doesn't perform. And so it was also kind of a necessity. So it's a lot of things. It's personal changes. It's YouTube landscape and viewership changes. It's the thing to do to create second and third channels now with more loose content. And then also just me being like, I need something a little bit more. If this job is going to survive, I need to be able to do more. I need a way to produce, some more, some quicker content on topical stuff. I love making the more tightly scripted stuff, even weeks after the fact, when some news drops after I've had time to really think about it and really pull together my thoughts and do a video that's more well thought out. I really enjoy doing that. But if there are so many people, especially after the ridiculous success of my big fat review of Breath of the Wild, like there's a market for people who just want to listen to stuff. And I wanted to provide that because I also have those things. I like to blab. I like to have these opinions, and I wanted to deliver more topical news more quickly and more easily. And so the time was just kind of right. I don't know. It just kind of was. I don't know. I guess I realized the power of this microphone that I'm talking into right now. There's enough people who just want to hear me give my opinions on stuff. I just needed a better way to do that. So about a year ago, I okay, fine. Yeah, I'll do it. And you know what? At that point, I still didn't know how well it would do. And, I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Like, okay, for all of the effort that I put in, how much would I need people to watch these videos? How many views would I need to get? And it's like impossible to know what that magic number would be. But I was just trying to realistically, I'm like, okay, like, would I be happy with 10,000 views per video, 20, 30, 50, I really don't know. I was trying to keep my expectations in check. I was really trying to imagine that, like, okay, yeah, again, if I'm starting over from scratch, 0 subscribers on day one, I was just trying to be realistic, trying to keep my hopes relatively low. I wanted to focus first and foremost on just having fun with it, on allowing it to be that freedom that I'd been looking for, to just kind of talk about whatever thing in the Nintendo or video game sphere interested me. Just wanted to do it. I just wanted to focus on having fun with it. And I will say, now we come to it, I will say, the results have far exceeded my expectations. Topic Arlo has been far more successful than I could have imagined. And sure, there are the smaller videos. There's the smaller ones that get only 20,000 views, 30,000 views or whatever. But my fear was that I may cannibalize the main channel stuff. Each time I think oh, this is a really big topic. This is the kind of thing that maybe I would have put on the main channel at some point. And would that reach more people if I put it on the main channel just because of the higher subscriber count? But I really wanted to keep doing this, keep working at this. It was an experiment after all. And it has been really relieving to find that if the topic is hot enough, people have been finding. It's been a little bit of a slow process. There's been a process of people finding the channel and subscribing and all that stuff. But I don't know, with all of the recent Switch 2 stuff, it's really proven that, yeah, if the topic is hot enough, if enough people want to hear my opinion on it, they'll find it. You know, like I frequently have Topic Arlo videos that perform as well as main channel videos. And like, sure, maybe if I had put all this on the main channel, possibly each one would have gotten more. I really don't know. But at this point, it still feels worth it to me to kind of just keep them separate. And I know I've kind of like, it's been a bit of a process trying to figure out, especially around like Nintendo Directs, what I want on the main channel, what I want on Topic Arlo. I think I've kind of figured it out. You know, basically the idea is I want like more evergreen stuff to go on the main channel, stuff that you might want to look at later, whereas Topic Arlo is for stuff that may be completely outdated down the line. And that's another thing I haven't mentioned yet is I think all of this is just trying to figure this out, just trying to form your own theories. But I get the impression that like average views per video matters. And so on the main channel, I didn't like that I was creating evergreen content mixed with topical content, some stuff that could go on to be viewed for years and other stuff that was just flash in the pan. It's interesting this weekend and then it's done. It kind of felt like it was probably bad for analytics, and I was kind of hoping that like if I keep the better, more evergreen-ish stuff on the main channel, then maybe that would help my overall health of the channel. And so far, I haven't really seen the fruits of that element of this experiment. Again, because the main channel views are kind of all over the place, because we will put out content that feels more watchable even over time, but then like even that might not perform very well. So instead of focusing on that, now what I'm doing is kind of just treating the main channel as the space for making content that I feel more proud of. And both of us, me and Kane, he does most of my editing. Just stuff that we're more proud of on like a, I don't want to say artistic level, because it is YouTube, but just like as, sure, creators, content creators, just stuff that we feel better about putting out there, feels like just a better product. And Topic Arlo is great because, like, yes, you're like, people are not wrong when they say that, like, you know, the joke that Topic Arlo has become like the main channel or whatever. Like, it's true. I put out a lot more content there, again, because it's so much easier to make. And so, yes, the main channel has gotten fewer videos, and I will completely admit it does mean that we have just been producing less of that scripted content. We have been, but it's kind of out of necessity. You know, Topic Arlo has kind of, I don't know, is it dramatic to say that it has saved us? Because I think it might have. I really was kind of struggling there for a bit, getting a little bit worried about the views and stuff. But now we get to put a bunch of effort into Topic Arlo, and it can help keep the lights on so that when we put our effort into creating a video and it doesn't really perform that well, it's not like this big devastating blow like it used to be. Now it's kind of like Topic Arlo allows me to create these other videos that I'm more interested in, that are more satisfying to create, and I don't have to worry as much when it doesn't necessarily perform super well. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the best of both worlds. And yes, it does mean that the main channel has only been getting a small handful of videos per month. But I'm hoping eventually that works out. I'm hoping eventually maybe that helps increase average views. I really don't know. But at the very, very least, as this next generation starts, I'll be doing more game reviews, that kind of, you know, quote unquote, evergreen content. There will be more stuff hitting the main channel. And that's the thing about YouTube. This is always up in the air. We're always trying new things. So, like, even what I say today may not be true a few months from now. I really don't know. It is all still one constant, ongoing experiment. You have to evolve if you want to survive. But overall, it's been great. It's been really, really great and really relieving. And when I started Topic Arlo, because I didn't know how well each video would do, I couldn't really afford to pay for an editor because I'm like, am I even gonna break even? If I let Kane do the Topic Arlos, especially because like they're relatively quick and easy for me to do, but it has been successful enough that I have recently been able to just have Kane do them, and it's been, I mean, I'm around the Switch 2 Direct. It was so much fun, just like prepping videos and recording them and just throwing them at him, and then he's throwing the edited ones back at me, and I'm uploading them and recording more. It's been just an absolute blast. We have a really good system in place. So Topic Arlo has been really nourishing us. We feel that our crops are being watered, and it's really great. And you know what? I will be transparent. Topic Arlo takes a lot less work than main channel stuff, like dramatically so. And as the consumer of this content, you may feel slightly cheated that now a lot of the Arlo content is coming with less effort put behind it. You're getting fewer of those high effort main channel videos. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, yeah, I have kind of, like, Topic Arlo has kind of allowed me to do a little bit less work. Not necessarily Kane. I try to keep that guy busy. It's the way he wants it. It's work is work. We try to always have projects in production at any given time. But like, yeah, Topic Arlo has allowed me to spend fewer hours of my work week doing work. And, you could see that as a bad thing. You could see that as Arlo losing his edge, getting lazy. And from a business standpoint, I could say, well, okay, but what have I been doing with those hours? Have I been putting them into something else for the channel? You gotta expand a business, right? I should be taking those hours and putting them into a third channel, into another thing. And it is true that, like, yes, this could open up the ability to do more of that stuff. And we've had some big projects going on in the background. It's really opened up a lot of time for me. I can put out a bunch of Topic Arlos in a week. I put out a bunch of videos. There is content. People are saying they like the content, and I find myself with extra time. And I have been investing that into some stuff. We're still working on the Tears of the Kingdom review. We've got multiple big kind of projects going on in the background, and it has enabled that. But most importantly, I will admit to you, I have used this opportunity to just do less work. And I feel very, very fortunate and very privileged that I have this ability. That, I mean, it took 10 years to get here, 9 years or whatever, but it has finally come, and I have been just working a bit less. I couldn't quantify it, I couldn't tell you exactly how much less, but I feel a new ease. You know what I mean? It feels like just a little bit of the pressure has been let off. And I cannot even describe to you how much that has done for me. As a person, I have more time for me to feel like a person, pursue my own interests. I just feel healthier than I've ever felt. Like it's fun to work a lot, but I did spend a lot of years giving a lot of myself to this job, and it probably wasn't super sustainable. And so I'm very thankful that Topic Arlo has helped just a bit, And like I said, it's been a big year for personal growth. I've just been working on a lot of just improving myself in a lot of different ways. And I really think that I can owe a lot of that to Topic Arlo and how it's been doing as well as it is, and it's relieved some of that pressure. So I'm sorry if anyone feels that they are getting less quality Arlo content and a little bit more slopic Arlo, but boy, I am happier than perhaps ever. I am happier doing this job than I have been in several years. It's always been enjoyable, but I don't know. it's just been really great. And it's also just been amazing to see how so many of you have been responding to it. I really expected more people to be upset by it. You know, I do get the comments. I get the Slop Arlo comments. I get them. But for the most part, it's mostly positive. Like, I get people just telling, you know, they just love it. I can't even count the number of people who've told me they like Topic Arlo more than the main channel. They like the looseness. They like that I'm not reading off a script. They like that it's just this like easy conversational thing. And that has made me feel so good because I was really afraid. Okay. Literally every time I hit that publish button, I'm not kidding, it's every time. Every individual time I have ever hit that publish button on any video on any channel, there's always this like, is this bad? Is this bad content? Am I bad at this? Is this just like, is the quality not there? Especially if it's something more loose, you know, something not scripted. I'm like, oh, like, are people gonna like this? So it's been really, really nice to see how many people really like it, really genuinely just like hearing me talk about whatever. I don't know. It's just fun. It is very fun and satisfying and nice to see that people like it. It's something that I can provide. It's something that I like doing. I'm still making content, but without all of the prep and the writing and the editing and all that stuff. It's just lower pressure stuff. And people like it anyway. It's win-win. It's win-win-win. It's wins across the board. So I am going to continue to do Topic Arlo. I feel like, you know, I mean, now I'm smacking myself in the head being like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Why didn't I try this earlier? But try not to beat myself up about it. Maybe this was just the right time, you know? This was when the idea was ripest and ready for me to pick it. And I'm just happy it's doing so well. I'm happy people are enjoying it. Yeah, hit 100K subscribers. And then over the course of the Switch 2 Direct stuff, I'm up to 115 already. So people are finding it. People are liking it. We are enjoying doing it. Really is a breath of fresh air. Me and Kane both. Like, we're on cloud nine here. We're having so much fun. So mega, super, ultra, champion, thanks to everyone who has been watching any of these videos, those of you who have been enjoying it or not enjoying it. If you're watching this and you don't enjoy it, I'm sorry. I'm still gonna thank you because at least you tried. You know, at least you watched. It's been great, and you know, comments have been great. Just anytime you folks. It just feels good to be told that people like your stuff. So yeah, just crazy thanks to all of you. Can't even possibly thank you enough. Obviously, this only works because of you. It only works because people watch the content, because people enjoy the content, and all of that stuff. I'm going to stop this recording now and send the file to Kane, and he will be happy to receive it. He will be happy to edit it. He will send it back to me. I will be happy to upload it, and we hope that you will be happy to watch it.